Thanks, everybody. Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Ricky Camilleri. Our next guest is one of the biggest actors in the world. He's a humongous presence in Bollywood. And in the States, you've seen Anupam Kher in Silver Linings Playbook, Bend It Like Beckham, most recently, Hotel Mumbai, and the hit NBC medical drama, New Amsterdam. Let's take a look.
So, Dr. Christensen will finish up with the low pitches now. As before, raise your right hand if you hear a sound. If you don't, it's okay. This is to help us diagnose what's wrong with the cochlear implant.
Margot?
Do you need a break? Is everything all right?
She doesn't like tests.
It's the device we're testing, not you. And if it makes you feel better, I will give you an A+.
Tori and I will
We'll be just outside the door.
Okay, let's start. So, it's been 9 months. We're still having problems.
It's almost impossible to predict the rehabilitation period after the cochlear implant.
I mean, we weren't expecting her to talk on the phone, but she can't even take the subway without getting dizzy. She seems confused, sad.
I know how it feels to see your loved ones in pain. But once we diagnose the issue with the device, we can fix it.
Is everything okay?
The implant seems to be functional.
Basal electrode responses?
All normal.
So if it's not the device, then what's the matter?
Everybody put your hands together for Anupam Kher. Sir, thank you so much for being here. Congratulations on New Amsterdam.
Thank you,
A
thank
wonderful show, a hit a medical show, which means you're gonna be working for 10 years here. That's usually what that means.
Yes.
You know, I'm curious, we hear the story of young, struggling actors in Hollywood and New York all the time, but you were a young man in India and decided to be an actor. What was it like making that decision? How did that affect your life? What did people think when you said, at what age was it when you decided you wanted to be an actor?
I think at the age of 9 or 10. I live in a small town in Shimla. Now it's a concrete jungle. But at that time...
The top of a mountain, right?
It is,
Yeah,
yes.
I've been
it
to
is.
Shimla.
Yeah, well, yes. So I was born and brought up there. My father was a clerk in the forest department. And we were a huge family of 14 people in a small, as big as the stages. So we were poor. And I was not good at studies. I never got more than 38% marks ever in my life. I was not very good at sports also. In fact, once my PT teacher saw me running and he said, even if you run alone, you will come second. I have till today tried to find out what did he mean if I can run alone. So in smallest places, in small towns, you have dreams. You want to do something because your life is so monotonous. It's so simple. It's so similar to other people. There are so many people. There is nothing great happening to your life. And the only way was to go and watch movies. We had 4 cinema halls in there, and I used to go and watch movies. And I used to say, one day I want to be an actor, but that I'm sure a lot of people do that. So I started acting. My first few experiences were a disaster on stage. So this whole concept of actors are born is, I don't think it actually is the truth, because if that was true, I would have not been sitting here and you would have not been interviewing me. But I think it was important to matter. It was important to be called somebody. It was important to sort of say that, okay, get that boy. So I started mimicking people. I will mimic my father, my grandparents, my teacher. So I got an identity and they started calling me, oh, get that boy who mimics his teachers or his neighbors or his parents. And that's how the acting bug started, and I started doing some plays. But I ran away from my home to Chandigarh, which had an Indian theatre department. And I stole 100 rupees from my mother's temple to travel by bus from Shimla to Chandigarh. And
How long of a trip is that?
it's 4 hours by bus.
Right.
But if I had told my father that I need money to go back to Chandigarh and be an actor, not that he was against it, but he would have said, where will I get 100 rupees from that? So my mother, poor lady, had collected over a period of 1 year those 100 rupees. So I took and told my parents that I'm going for a picnic, and took my friend, went there, gave an audition, which basically they had two audition pieces. One was for boys and one was for girl. And the one for the girl was a Sanskrit play. Vasant Sena was the name of that character. So I said, let me pick up the girls' audition and do that. If nothing else, I will get noticed for choosing this. So our teacher, Balwant Gargi, said, very bad, but choice was good. I came back home, there was almost...
If you were acting alone, you would come in second.
Second.
Yeah.
No, I would have not done anything. They would have thrown me out. I came back home, there was a chaos. There was almost a police there because 100 rupees was stolen from my... Same evening, my parents said, where did you go? I said, I had gone to the picnic. But after one week, I was in the small corner of my house and my father came to, he said, tell me the truth, where did you go that last week when you said you had gone for picnic? So I said, I had to tell the truth. So I said, I had gone for an audition to become an actor. So my mother said, where did you get the money from? So I said, I stole from your temple. So she gave me one tight wrap and my father walked towards me. I said, another tight wrap is coming. But my father said, I said, okay, I will not be an actor and I'm sorry, I should have not done that. So he said, shut up, you have been selected for that course. So my mother said, but what about my 100 rupees? He said, you also shut up, he's going to get 200 rupees stipend, he's going to give you 100 rupees for that. So I think that's how, on the 27th of July, 1974, my journey as a professional acting student started. And then I went to drama school in Delhi, and then my first job was a teacher at the age of 23 in Lucknow. And then on the 3rd of June, 1981, I came to Mumbai to try my luck.
In what we refer to as Bollywood,
yes,
right? Yeah.
In cinema, in Hindi cinema.
In cinema. And
I have a little issue with Bollywood because I think this is a term coined by people outside India.
agree. That's why I had kind of a hesitation with the term itself.
Because I think it's easy for them to call Indian cinema Bollywood, but I don't think you would call China would, or French cinema French would. But we are also idiots to have accepted that. So then I came, but it was after 3 years of wanting to be an actor that I finally got my break.
I also think, and just on the Bollywood topic for just a second, I think in some ways it is pejorative coming from the United States or from other Western countries, because our interpretation of what Indian cinema is very limited. And when we refer to Bollywood, I think we often think of dancing and we think of these sort of extremely colorful images, when there is actually, I think some people don't know, there is a rich history of cinematic traditions in India and filmmakers as well.
I personally feel it's lack of knowledge in this side of the world. They do not want to research more. I think our tradition of cinema is very rich. The first book on acting was written in 4th century BC in India, called Natya Shastra. So we have been coming from since then, but I think it's easy for people, and I'm saying it as a matter of factly, not with any sense of bitterness, and with the so-called dance and running around the trees, we are so convincing that we convince 1.2 billion people, and that's what cinema is all about, to be able to convince people to get... Cinema in India is also to take away people's stresses out of their lives. You see, they go to cinema. That's why Indian actors are so loved, because we are part of their life. We are part of their psyche. A normal Indian guy will know so much about Hollywood people, so much about European cinema, but that is not reciprocated in a strange way, that they don't know much about it. They want to categorize it to Bollywood. Otherwise, we have had some amazing directors, some amazing producers, actors, brilliant actors, as good as any actor anywhere in the world.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's very difficult to, let me just tell you that, and I say it with total confidence, that it's maybe possible for, say, Akshay Kumar or for Shah Rukh Khan, these are big actors, to do something which a very competent actor over here does. But I doubt whether actors over here will be able to do what a Shah Rukh Khan or an Akshay Kumar do, dancing on the streets without wanting to find out what is my logic behind it. So it's very difficult to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. When you moved to Mumbai to try your hand in cinema, how long was it until? Because your first big role came in like '84, right?
Yes,
So it was a
yes.
few years. So what was that period of time like when you were you auditioning a lot? Were you trying to get parts?
So as I said to you, that I came to Mumbai to try my luck on the 3rd of June 1981 as a gold medalist from drama school who knew about Arthur Miller, Tennessee Williams, Eugene O'Neill, Stanislavski, Bertolt Brecht, Greta Garbo, Marilyn Monroe. But in early 80s, at that time, having this knowledge meant nothing if you were bald. This is a very dignified bald look. Now everybody wants to be bald, but when
You were bald?
yes, yeah. So me balding half from here at that time in 80s and thin. I was so thin that I could see through a keyhole with both my eyes. So to be landing up there and wanting to be an actor was the most difficult thing. People said that you become a writer, you become an assistant, but you don't have hair, so you can't be an actor. So it was very tough, and there was no concept of auditions. Means you had to call up people, you had to have a directory and find out some director's name, producer's name, then call him up, his assistant will pick up the phone and you will fix up a meeting with the producer director. So there was no concept of audition. No, at all. So after being so sometimes somebody will meet you and you tell them that I'm from the National School of Drama. That did not also meant much. He will look at me and he said, why don't you become my assistant or why don't you become a writer? But actor is a little difficult. And I knew that I had it in me, that I have done so much of training for 3 years, then I taught for 1 year. But it became very difficult. I had whatever money I had collected, that finished, and then time came when I became homeless. So I used to sleep on railway platforms. I slept on railway platform in Bandra East in Mumbai for 27 days on a bench. I used to sleep on beaches. And I'm not again saying it with the self-pity. I think I'm very proud of the fact that it gave me strength and courage that I must. But it was tough. When you are homeless, there is lack of dignity. And lack of dignity doubles up when you are a qualified actor. So it was difficult, and finally, Mr. Mahesh Bhatt, who was a very well-known director at the time, I met him, I did some plays, I did some television thing, and he told me, when I met him, he gave me time, and he said, I've heard you're good on stage. I said, you've heard wrong, I'm brilliant. And that's what he said, that I will cast you in my film because of that answer. And so then I invited him to see my play. So my first film, Saransh, I was 28 years old and I played a 65-year-old man's role about a man who has lost his only son in New York and how he copes with the death of his only son. And I was not married, I didn't have child, but I had gone through this whole humiliation in the city of Mumbai, wanting to find work. And 10 days before I was to start the shooting on the 1st of Jan 1984, I got a call from a friend of mine, and he said, and I had rehearsed for the role for 6 months. I had used to go and see old people, how do they behave. I will wear that dhoti, kurta, I will wear that stick, I will walk with that stick. And I had really, really worked hard. And my friend called me up, he said, I've heard a rumor in producer's office, you are not doing the main role. So I said, what do you mean by I'm not doing them? He says, yeah, there is a rumor going on. So I called up this director, Mahesh Bhatt, and I said, I'm hearing this strange rumor that I'm not doing the role. And he said, yeah, the producers do not want a newcomer, so they've signed a very big star. I was horrified. I said, this city does not deserve me. I need to go back from this city. So I packed my luggage and I decided to leave this city forever. Same time, so on the same date. But as I was going to the railway station to board the train and go back to Shimla or to Delhi or to Lucknow, now I thought, my grandfather used to say, when you want to be equal with anybody, just don't expect anything from that person. So now I knew in my mind that I'm equal to Mahesh, but because I'm not doing his film and I'm leaving this city forever. Now I must go to his house and tell him what I think of him. So I went to his house. The elevator was not working. I walked up. They say when you are angry, it gives you a lot of energy. So he opened the door and he said, "Oh, this is fantastic. You came to confirm that you will do the other old man's role. You know, you must understand the producer's point of view. And this big star, Sanjeev Kumar, very huge star, he's doing the main role. So you do the other old man's role. It's not big, but, you know, you will be noticed by him." I said, "Hold on, Mr. Bhatt. Come to the window." I showed him. I said, "That's a cab. My luggage is in that. I'm leaving this city. But before I leave, I want to tell you, you're the biggest fraud on this earth. You're the biggest cheat." I was crying. I was horrified. I was in a very bad state. But I said, "I want to tell you that you are making a film about truth. And you don't have truth in you. So all your life, you will basically live with the lie that I deserve to be in this film because I worked hard for it. And you in your heart of heart know that I am the person. And you don't have the conviction to sort of make this film. And you're telling me it's fine? Fine. And also, I curse you." And I walked down, and as I walking down, and I was getting to the cab, he shouted from 6th floor. He said, "Come up." I said, "No, you guessed." I said, "No, come up." And he called up the producer. He said, "I've seen a scene right now in front of my eyes. I don't think I can make this film without Anupam Kher." And rest is history. It's been 35 years, 515 films.
515 films.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, what was the transition like coming from acting in India to acting? I imagine you went to the UK first and then sort of crept into the United States as well. What was that transition like? Was it intentional or did it just kind of happen on its own?
No, I think it's important to challenge yourself. I personally feel that competence is the biggest enemy of brilliance. When you're very competent, you can very rarely be brilliant because you know you're happy with whatever you're doing. People are buying it and it's fine. What are these lines? Yeah, I'm fine. It's like anchoring. It's like hosting a show.
Yeah.
You know it at the back of
You
your
can
mind.
coast.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, exactly. And you can roast. But so I started getting initially first 15 years, I was very thrilled. And then I started feeling that it's easy for me to do this because the kind of role, that kind of work that I'm doing is similar kind of thing, even though. And then Bend It Like Beckham came to my offer came. I don't think in English, I think in Hindi. I went to a Hindi medium school. I went to a school where ABCD was taught in the 5th grade. So this is a communication English language that we are using, but I'm still in my mind translating what I need to tell you. But since it's a communication, it's happening easily. But when it's a written dialogue, I find it very difficult. But because I was finding it difficult, I was focusing and concentrating more. And because I was concentrating more, I was a little better than what I was doing at that time. So that's how it happened. And
You're
that's
also doing something so important for yourself as well, which is making sure that you're always using your brain and you're always doing different exercise. That's a different exercise for your brain. So you're keeping yourself fresh as a human being.
Also, I don't take myself so seriously. You know, before me, a lot of actors came, and after me, a lot of actors. To me, this is a journey which is fantastic. It's a journey which you will remember because there's no point in reaching a destination and not remembering the journey. I feel hardships, I think problems, road breaks make your journey worth it. And I'm not scared of failure. My father used to say that failure is an event, never a person. So when you are an optimist and you're not scared of failure, this is a lethal combination. So I always feel, so when I came, did that, and then I did a 2-scene role with Mr. Woody Allen, but 3 scenes with Ang Lee, and then Silver Linings Playbook happened, and then Big Sick, etc.
Is it Lust Caution with Ang Lee,
Lust
right?
Caution with Ang Lee.
What Woody Allen movie was it?
You will meet a tall, dark stranger.
Oh, yes, of course, with Josh Brolin. Yeah.
Yes, for me, just the idea of being on his set was the idea that I should be able to actually watch Woody Allen.
Yeah.
It was very funny because the first day, I have to tell you this, I have to share this with you. So my agent said that how much they're offering you very little money. I said, I'll do it free. So I have to be next
Your
to...
agent was like, oh, great.
Yeah. But she said, you can't do it free. I said, what do you mean I can't do it free? He said, it's not possible because in your contract, this is the kind. I said, this much? Okay, I'm doing it. I was keen on meeting Mr. Woody Allen, and the production manager said that he will meet you only on the set tomorrow. I said, I have come all the way for the 2 scenes, and with this much money, why can't I meet Mr. Woody Allen today? They, no, you can't. So I said, okay, where are you people shooting? So they said, some street in London. So I went to that street, and there was a Bangladeshi restaurant there. I walked in there, and they said, oh, Mr. Kher, Anupam ji, Dada, oh my God, Dada, Dada, can you take a picture? I said, no, come to that street and bring your families, bring your friends. So where the shooting was going on, I stood there, and suddenly in some time, about 15, 20 Bangladeshi families came. Dada, there was a chaos. They said, what is this chaos about? There's some Indian actor. I said, okay, get him and make him sit next to Mr. Woody Allen. That's how I got it. But it was wonderful. And then Silver Linings Playbook happened.
And what was that like? You know, I've talked to a number of people who've worked with the director of Silver Linings Playbook, David O. Russell, and everybody says he's just an incredible.
He's phenomenal. He's brilliant. Also, Silver Linings Playbook happened in a very funny manner. I was shooting in a remote village in Rajasthan for a film, and I had just finished watching The Fighter, and I loved it. I thought it was phenomenally brilliant film. And then my agent Ruth sent me a mail, and he said, David O. Russell is looking for an Indian actor. It's in the book, Dr. Patel's character, and he's thinking of doing a Skype with you. And I said, who are the other people? And she said, Jennifer Lawrence, Bradley Cooper, and then she said, Mr. Robert De Niro. I have, as an acting student in drama school in the first year, done thesis on his Mean Street, Taxi Driver, and Godfather 1. And I think he's God of acting. So I said, he's there, I will get to perform with him. She said, yeah, but the director wants to Skype. I had never done Skype in my life. Never. I never felt that. And in this village, to do Skype, there was no possibility of that.
Right.
So I called up my Indian manager. I said, I need Skype here in this village. I don't care by tomorrow at this time, because David O. Russell is going to Skype with me. For 30 hours' time, Skype became a folklore. In this village, Skype is coming, Skype is coming. Skype is coming. Every villager is saying, oh, you know, Skype is coming, as if there's some alien coming. And there's a city, Jodhpur, close by. So there was this arrangement done, then the computer will come. And so finally, they set it up in this village guest house. I was on this side of this computer, and the half a village was on the other side of the village, waiting for it to happen. And finally, so David Russell came on the screen, and there was no connection of sound. So he couldn't hear what I was saying. And he got a little impatient. He said to me, next time be on a piece of paper, next time be a little more prepared. I said, okay. So I wrote, Google search me. So he laughed. And then we finally met. And and meeting Mr. De Niro and working with him. So I had prepared my first few scenes with Bradley Cooper brilliantly. I'd worked very hard. Indian actor. I thought I must also act like people in Hollywood or West work. They don't look at the other person, and they look around and they talk like this and they do this. So
that is your impression of American actors?
No,
is that
so that's one thing. Yeah, exactly. And I was
a lot.
trying to talk to you, and you know what happened, and then so the natural acting is we do acting, and over here they do acting.
Wait, what is your impression of Indian acting?
Oh, no, when we are acting, we are needed to communicate to the world that this is exactly what I'm doing. You must understand.
Right.
And also we have 28 official languages and 3,000 unofficial languages in India. When you perform for an audience, you're performing for a Bengali, for a Tamilian, for a Malayali, a Punjabi, Gujarati, Marathi. So that's why it's a little exaggerated. Mm-hmm. If I have to say it in English, in Hindi, मैं वहाँ जा रहा हूँ, I'm going there, I am catering to the audiences all over the place. So I will, along with my sentence, will also use the gesture. Right. मैं वहाँ जा रहा हूँ. So that's what people over here call exaggerated acting, but I am communicating to the world.
There's a practical
and
reason
in English,
for it.
I can just say, I'm going there. That's it.
But with a little looking around.
Yeah, exactly.
And
so I had prepared with this whole thing. This will be my pause, and this will be my this thing, and this at this time I'll come forward, and this time I'll go. So when I did rehearse with Bradley Cooper, and David Russell was watching me, and he came to me, he said, "Dude, I already have De Niro in my film." I said, what do you mean? He said, my God, you are working out. So I said, I've worked out. I'm a trained actor. I don't want any of that. Just look into his eyes and say your lines. I said, what about all the work that I had done? He said, no, De Niro will do that. And it was wonderful. I think the whole experience of he is brilliant. He keeps his actors alive. He keeps throwing these lines also while you're performing, so you are on an edge as an actor, which is brilliant according to me. Out of 515 films, I have not got script for more than 35 films. The rest of the films were narrated to us. In India, early 80s, 90s, the writer, along with the director, comes and narrates you a script in 10 minutes. This is the script, okay? Then this happened, and you're playing this father of the girl, and this happened, etc., etc. And the dialogues were given to us on the spot in the shooting.
Wow.
Yeah, and sometimes the dialogue will come back at the cover of a cigarette packet.
Has that changed at all, or is that still the process?
In the last 10 years, it has changed. You get scripts, but getting a bound script does not actually mean it's a brilliant script.
Right.
Just
I mean,
because,
the same thing here.
Just because somebody has written it on a piece of paper doesn't mean. But sometimes the narration was brilliant. It was fantastic. And
so did you see a similarity, even though, of course, with Silver Linings, you had a script, but because he was sort of yelling lines at you and narrating, did you see a similarity between...
No.
Okay.
I think I'm not running down the films that I did without script. I think it was great being part of those films because that was the system. Improvisations was happening. No, David knows his... But I think the brilliant thing about Silver Linings was when you watch it, you don't see it as cinema, you see it as reality, as life. And to be able to do that, I think this is what he was doing, that he will throw a surprise line at you. And for me, it was fantastic because I had not to sort of learn my lines, which were fixed lines. So I will hear it. I've done all languages in India. All 27 languages except for Gujarati I've done. Malayalam film, Bengali film, Gujarati film, Marathi film. I've done all kinds of films. So this was great. And his understanding of characters is brilliant. He reminded me of Mahesh Bhatt. Mahesh Bhatt was that kind of director, my first film director.
Really?
Yeah, David O. Russell is every actor should work with him. It's like a masterclass.
And what is it like for you now coming on to New Amsterdam, doing the same character, week in, week out, a kind of procedural where there's a different story per week? How do you keep yourself on your toes?
No, so what was happening is that in the last 5-6 years, I was being referred to as a thespian, legend, veteran actor, which was very fine, which was very happening.
Oh, okay, you like that.
But, no, which was very good. But also there was a subtle hint in it that you need to retire. Yeah. When people start considering you for Lifetime Achievement Award, that means I thought it's time to run away from here. I don't
in India, though?
Everywhere.
Or here, everywhere? Oh, okay.
I think but over here, I think it's not so, there are people who are doing great work, but I felt it. I felt it that this whole being referred to as is great sense of respect being given to you, but also means it's so, or maybe that's how I interpreted it. So I said the best thing is to run away, and because I have so much of work inside me, both mentally and physically. I feel I've just done 500 films only till interval. My post-interval work is still left. So I thought, let me make my job difficult. Let me start my life as a newcomer. And that's how New Amsterdam happened. I'm now here for the last 1 year as a newcomer. Means I start learning. I don't think in Hindi still, in English. So this is medical terms. Yeah, so it's very difficult. And every time I'm working, I'm constantly enjoying it. And when you enjoy your work, and when you are not trying to be competent, and you are not thinking in English, it's fascinating to be able to not be this legend, not carry the burden of 515 films in 35 years. I don't do that.
It's also a different beast shooting a television show. You're
It
moving
is.
a lot faster,
It is.
right? You're getting scripts on the day.
Yes.
It's a completely different experience than having 1 month to shoot one story.
Yes, it is
Or even
different.
like 4 days to shoot a piece of a whole story.
But that's what the magic of it is.
Yeah.
That's what I want. That's what I wanted in my life. I wanted to reinvent myself as an actor and also as a person. You see, can you imagine to start my life at the age of 63 all over again?
You're only 63?
That's it.
I
That's
thought
it.
you were younger than that.
Well, I think I just want to say the truth that it's okay. Oh, sometimes I feel when I'm talking like this, I'm copying Mr. De Niro. No.
I enjoyed your De Niro impression. I thought that was really funny.
No, I think it's so wonderful. My catchphrase of my life is "कुछ भी हो सकता है." "कुछ भी हो सकता है" means anything is possible. Means I still have a great sense of wonder, and I still feel amazing that small town boy from Shimla, whose father used to earn 90 rupees, which is $1.50 for a month, is actually sitting in this office and talking about his work. Is the most amazing feeling. Means it's a great feeling of gratitude to God, to people who have made it possible, to the people of India, that I still do not think of myself that I have done such a body of work. It still makes me that these people in the audience, that people outside who took my autograph, and I'm actually talking to you, is such a phenomenal feeling that it can really happen.
How much of your work did your parents get to see? Are they?
My father was my biggest fan. My
Yeah.
mother is still there. My father passed away in 6 years back. But right from the first play that he saw of mine, which was a disaster play, I was horrible. I was thrown out by my co-actor on the stage in my father's lap because he was heftier than I was. And till the last film he saw, my father was my biggest fan. He had the same expression from the 5th standard play till the last film. Wow, my son is brilliant. And he used to put, there was a small little iron trunk, a small suitcase. He used to keep things in that and never told us what he kept in it for years and years together. And after he passed away, we needed to see, so we asked our mother, what do we do about that suitcase, which is locked and the key is with us now? But do you want to sort of offer it to the fire along with his life? And my mother said, no, I want to see what is in that. What did he keep in that? And we finally opened it, and you will not believe it. It had all my press cuttings from 10th standard till the last film he saw, and he had underlined all my names, Anupam Kher starring, or a review, a bad review, or a magazine, or a card that I had sent him. So I think that was fantastic. And my mother now, she's not as obvious as my father was, but she is very proud that I'm doing something interesting.
Did she have a favorite movie of yours?
In our custom, they say we should not praise our son because a bad eye gets onto him.
Right.
So I keep asking, what's your favorite film? So there was a film that I did called Lamhe, means Moments, by Yash Chopra. She likes that film very much. And then I recently did a film called Accidental Prime Minister, where it was a biopic of Dr. Manmohan Singh, who was the ex-Prime Minister of India. She gave me the ultimate compliment, and she said, I don't think that was you. So that was her way of telling me that you were very good in the film.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I think we have
So
time
that's
for-
what I think is coming across also in New Amsterdam. I bring out a certain amount of Indianness to this, of holding back, of taking your time in diagnosing patient, of a little calm thing, apart from